Hello. I'd like to talk to you today about Cat5e and Cat6 cable. What's the difference between Cat5e and Cat6? Cat5e, Cat6. Cat5e has no center insulator in it. No, Cat6 has a center insulator. Cat5e, the wires are physically smaller. I believe these are 22 gauge, these are 18 gauge. The twists on the pairs in the cable itself are tighter on a Cat6 than they are on a Cat5e. Why do you want a Cat6 over a Cat5e? Cat5e probably is good enough for home use. I did use Cat6 in my home. Cat6 is probably twice as expensive as what Cat5e was. So at least it was at the time. So that's the differences. What do we got to do to make a connection? Well, they're basically the same. You start out with a cable, you strip the end, you straighten the pairs out, you cut the insulation out of the center and put the wires in a very specific order. You feed the wires into the jack and you crimp the jack. Seeing as how they're pretty much the same except for the center insulator, we're not even going to do a Cat5e, we'll just do the Cat6. First step, strip the end. Now I don't have a stripper. So what I do is I take a sharp razor blade knife and I just lay it across the end. I don't slide it at all. And the distress and the sharp edge will cause the insulation to split. And then you just pull it apart. Now, if you needed more, there's a string embedded in here. And that string, if you pull on it, will expose more wire. Now, in this case, we don't need it. So now we're going to go to the next step. We're going to pull the pairs down out of the way. Next step is we're going to clip off that string. And we're going to cut out this insulator. Now if you nick anything while you're doing this, the whole point of that insulator is to eliminate crosstalk. And if you cut the insulation or nick the insulation, it will actually increase the crosstalk. So the next thing we got to do is straighten these wires out. Okay. Got the wires out and fanned out. Now there is a very specific order. You want these wires to be pretty straight, so take some time, get them smooth and even and straight. They'll go into the jack a lot nicer if they're nice and smooth and straight. So the very first wire you want on the left hand side as you look at it is the white with an orange stripe. And then the next one you want right next to it, which makes sense, is the orange. And now you want white with a green stripe. And then it doesn't make sense. I don't know why they did this, but this is the way they do it. The next one is solid blue. And yes, I know doesn't make sense, but that's what you do. And after solid blue comes white with a blue stripe. And then solid green, and then white with a brown stripe and brown. So now we got the wires in the right order, and we want to constantly check that we got the wires in the right order. Now what we're going to do is get these things all running in the same plane, right next to each other. And we're going to clip them off. Now, we want to be very careful that we do this correctly. So, as you hold it, you have white with an orange stripe on the top. Okay, we verified once again that we're in the right order. We have white with an orange stripe, solid orange, green, white with a green stripe, blue, white with a blue stripe, green, white with a tan stripe, and tan. So now we want to slide the jack on. And if you hold it with the white, with the orange stripe at the top, the clip for the tab goes down, and you slide the wires into the jack, and once they're in the jack, there's routing inside the jack that will take the wires where they need to go, and you push it all the way in. Now, this is where you notice the difference in the jack. Notice the wires are coming out the end. And I didn't really have to care about how long the wires were, because this jack, Ideal part number 85370, has holes in the end and allows the wires to come through, where 85386 does not. It's a solid connector. So if you push this all the way down in and you use Ideal part number 30495, which is just a cutter shrimper, a cutter crimper, you slide the jack in there and it'll cut all the wires off for us, and now we have a nice connection. I hope you like this video. Have a nice day.